Boom, hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, Season 2. With your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out. Boom, what's up, you guys? Byron Rodgers here, and I've got a special guest on the podcast today, Anton Kalaydjian of Guardian Professional Security, here hanging with us. How you doing, sir?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, it's an honor to have you here with us. I've been trying to catch up with you since I saw you in that documentary they put out a little bit ago. What was it called again, the documentary?
It was called Bodyguards, and then the sub-caption was Secret Lives from the Watchtower.
Yeah. No, I thought it was cool, man. I love seeing content and media out there that talks about kind of the reality of what we do and kind of tells our story, tells a story of like what guys that have been kind of like behind the curtain working, what it's like.
Yeah. It's a pretty secret life. It's not a lot of people know about it. So, hopefully I was able to help bring an inside look on what really goes on. It's not as sexy as everybody thinks it is.
Right. No, that's the truth. It's like one of the things I'm sure you see, and I see a lot. Two things I'd say on that, man, is like, one, managing expectations of new dudes as they come in, because they got all their James Bond ideas. So being able to tell the true story of that is huge. And then, as we add, more content, it's kind of what I tried to do with this. It's like when I got in the industry, there was like everyone was so tight-lipped and there was no sharing of information almost. I was lucky to have mentors that showed me how to survive. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it. But with this podcast and things like that, I've been trying to just get everyone's experiences out there so we can have a more intelligent and effective industry,
Yeah, and I agree. And I think as diverse as those experiences may be, and of course they're diverse, right? They're all walks of life contribute to that. But you kind of see it's got the same even tone. It's still protection, no matter what. So by doing stuff like podcasts and conventions and things like that, I think it's opening people's eyes up to that, how really similar we really are, but then again, how different we really are. And I think if we can pick up from everybody, from their life experiences, I think it'll bode for a better industry as a whole.
Yeah, man. No, I couldn't agree more, especially since we've, I think we're maybe, I hope that we're moving away from this, but like, there's like these crystallized like gangs, you know what I mean? Like there's these crystallized ideas, there's the bodyguard versus the EP guy, the quiet professional versus the, I'm using my social media guy, you know what I mean? So it's there's all these different opposing ideas. What would you say about it?
I think that I agree. I think, and I've said this before, I think the word bodyguard has a nasty stigma to it now. And it's unfortunate because it's one of the oldest careers in the world, and it's there is honor to it. You are protecting people's lives, but I think the reason why is because it's just been abused. The name's been abused, and like you said, a lot of us we work quietly, right, and we do our jobs. But then there's the ones, and so you don't really see us. You don't see that much about us. But then the ones
like even the client can like almost forget that you're there, when you're doing a good job.
Right. Yeah. Speaking spoken to, you're quiet, but then it's but then what we do see in our current world is people pushing out things like, look at me doing this, look at me doing that, and then bodyguard this, bodyguard that. It's like when that's all you see, no wonder you get a bit of a stigma to that name. But it's funny, like everyone's got a different opinion on it. So there's so many different words for what we do, right? So many different titles. So you can't really win either way. So I just stick to the word guard. Just guard works for me. Can't get anybody pissed off with that.
Yeah, no, I dig it, man. I think Elijah Shaw's book, Celebrity Touring, he was talking about the fact that the term already has so much equity that it's, if you can leverage it, you know, to give your client a positive understanding of what you're doing, it's a good thing to try to do, you know. And using terms that are so kind of more high tech, like executive protection or close protection, you know, whatever, you know, civilians just don't speak that.
Right.
Which for me, from the school I came from, it was like, we don't use the term bodyguard. We are executive protection agents.
Sure.
There's a difference, you know, like they, you know, it was like, that's just how we are, you know? And so I was like, but I see the utility in it, you know? So as I've kind of matured, I've become kind of more the person that's like, yo, use the tackle that works for you in your backyard, you know, and I ain't going to say anything about how you make your money, and try not to dishonor us as an industry. Because like you said, we see that happening on social media and things like that, you know. It's a fine line.
Yeah. Well, I think too, the word bodyguard too is that's close protection guy, bodyguard, whatever. That job description doesn't cover what all we do, right? Because we do. What about your advanced team? What about, you know, your head of venue security? What about your head of security? You know, there's so many different positions that you roll into. Like, I just finished a world tour where I was both the advanced and the close protection. So, you know, you can't just say bodyguard, because that's not giving you it's one function. Yeah, it's one function. It's one function of the many hats that you wear.
Yeah, man. No, that's good stuff. That's like that's the stuff that it's always fun to kick around, you know, see how people's different orientation to those kind of cool things we always talk about in the game, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of my favorite opening questions is, who are you at your core, Anton? Like, why do you when I think of that question, I think the answer is more simple than I could. I don't have to get too deep. It's just, I'm a protector, you know, just like you, just like everybody listening. That's who we are at our core. You know, there's nothing more to it. There's nothing deeper than it. There's nothing. I mean, that's just it. It's one word. I'm a protector. I've been that way since I was a kid. I'm that way now in my 40s. It is who I am. Yeah. So I mean, that's a simple, easy answer. Yeah, no, I dig that, man. That's one of those that, like, if you don't know, it can take you a minute to be like, yo, what is this thing really all about? I'm glad that I was able to figure that out, though, man. It's you just feel at home, you know, because you feel at home doing what we're doing.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
feels right. It feels natural.
It feels natural. And it almost doesn't make sense on some levels, because it's like, oh, well, you know, you're serving people or you're doing all these different things, but this is just a consequence of our being, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I think when you look back at it, you're like, what else would I do? I mean, I feel like this is all I know, and I don't want to sound one channeled or I don't, but it is what it is, man. You know, if there's a reason why we're doing it, there's a reason why we're talking about it.
Right.
It's who we are.
Yeah, man. No, that's awesome. What would you say your mission is these days with your company?
My job now is to grow the executive protection division. I think that our guys are really good at what they do, and they got world experience, but we're getting old, man. You know, we're in our 30s and 40s and jet setting with celebrities. Like, it's been working for us for the last couple of decades, right? But we're getting old, and we want to focus more on you know, C-suite level execs and less on the celebrity protection. And I think that's the focus for me. And it's not something that I just invented. I mean, I think the major part of leading is by listening. And it's my guys telling me, hey, Anton, this is what we want. You know, we want these executives. We're tired of touring. You know, we're on the road 300 days a year. So for me, I'm going to focus all my energy. And we've been doing well. I mean, since I took an executive protection course at EPI. I think you took the same course. And since that course, I said, let me learn what this is about and see how different it is. And man, it is so similar to celebrity protection. So it's been kind of a lateral move, and it's been doing well. And so that's going to be my major focus is growing that side of it, because I think, Byron, like the other divisions, they kind of grow on their own. They grow on their own, you know. This is something that I want to just put all my energy into, which is why I'm doing things like this, the podcast and the webinars and all that. I think that's important.
That's awesome. And it's it's really interesting as far as like the trajectory of a man's career in this industry, you know, like it's something I've tried to really kind of talk about and understand the paths of before. Cause it's like, you can, like, if you're a boutique shop, it's like, where is the, like, if you're a part of a big company, it's like you go into like a regional management position and you can start moving more up the corporate ladders. You want to get off the street. But as you kind of want to, like, I don't know, slow things down a bit as you get older or just get interested in different things, I can see that switch making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I take away from that is like, and a lot of these young guys, like, you get in and you want to do that stuff. Awesome. Get in, get it in. If some guys just love it anyway, you know?
Yeah, no, listen, it served us well this far, but
Yeah.
but the key word is young. It's, you know, it's a young man's game.
Yeah.
Because these artists are young and it's lights, camera, action. You know, touring life is so crazy. You know, you're in a different city every day.
Yes.
And then you know what happens too is you grow older and you start realizing that a lot of your memories are not being made, and then you know, your own personal life is being taken away. So you want to enjoy that. So that's why I'm not saying executive protection is something that's going to be enjoyable. I'm just saying you'll have more opportunities to enjoy other things that you can't when you're a traveling gypsy. You know, as a celebrity protection specialist.
Yeah, no, that's something I always try to reiterate, you know, guys know coming into it is you're gonna have to sacrifice. If you do end up on the road with one of these details that you think you want, you know, just come into it knowing you're gonna have to sacrifice some big pieces of things. I mean, what would you say about that?
Well, I think that's the key word, man.
Yeah.
I think sacrifice, and you take the words out of my mouth, because you're going to. And if you're not ready to sacrifice, time was the big killer, like I mentioned in the doc. Like the time is the big killer. But other than that, like sacrifice, you're gonna need, you know, time, relationships. You know, your body is gonna fluctuate. You know, like sometimes I'm 318, sometimes I'm 230. You know, because I'm not lying, man.
You can't work out. You can't eat like you're supposed to. You on the road. You're just trying to survive.
Yeah. If you don't eat if you don't eat beef jerky at that truck stop, you're not going to eat, you know, for a couple more days. So I mean, like your routine is all off. So there's a lot of sacrifice. So your health gets sacrificed, time gets sacrificed, relationships get sacrificed, but hey, you know what? It's a sacrifice. If you're willing to make it, then you could do well in this industry.
Yeah, and there's ups and downs, 100%. And I dig it, man.
Sure.
How'd you get into this work, brother? How'd you break in?
Man, I started off down here in South Florida, Miami to South Florida, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale. Nightclubs are huge, right? That's a big money maker. And believe it or not, I was a stockbroker at a young age. So at 20 years old, so at 20, I got my Series 7. Yeah, I guess. At 20 years old, I got my Series 7 and became a broker. So, but what you do is when you become a broker is you got to build that client book, you know, that Rolodex, A through Z. You got to build that up, and you're called a junior broker, and you're really not making any money. And I had just adopted my nephew at 8. I was like at that age. So
you grew up fast.
Yeah, you had to, right? So now I'm a single dad, and I'm a junior broker, and I wasn't, you know, I needed money. You need money. So what better job where the hours are that late? I've been protecting people my whole life. This is something I can roll into. Yeah. So I started working for this nightclub security. It was the largest nightclub security provider in the state, and they put me at a club here and there, and then I started liking it. I was like, I kind of like this. You know, I had the respect from the teammates. I enjoyed protecting. Like I enjoyed stopping the fights. I enjoyed protecting girls that might get a date rape drug. Like that was, to me, I felt like this is something I love doing. But I'm still a broker though, right? So I'm like, this is just my side job. And then eventually my side job became my main job because you know, we had an opportunity. The company had an opportunity to protect 50 Cent and G Unit and to get that account. And so then I was asked to go on the road, and then I had to make a pivotal decision. Like, what do I do? Do I stay being a broker, or do I try this bodyguard thing out? Yeah. And you know, it was really a 50-50, 51-49. Like I battled it for a while, man. And I finally said, let's give this a shot. And I just never looked back.
Man, that's what's up. Okay. Yeah. No, that's it's interesting, man. It's almost like, you know, I say, you know, you hear people say it's like I didn't choose the game chose me, but that's kind of like the thing that happens to some of the best, man.
Yeah. I mean, I worked my ass off to get that Series 7, and I worked hard for all that, and then I was like, why am I going to? But then I thought to myself, I'm going to travel the world. I grew up a poor kid. Like I never got out of the county, let alone see snow and all those other things like you don't see down here in Florida. So I was like, let me give this a shot. I mean, I felt like it was an opportunity of a lifetime because at the time, he was the largest artist there was, right? 2003.
Yeah, that was, man. That's what I think. Yeah,
it was huge.
That's big.
So I'm like, let me give this a shot, and then you know what? I made it my own. I said, you know what? I'm going to put 100% of my energy and focus on this, and then I just never looked back, man.
Man, that's awesome. What was it like the first time? Do you mind? Well, do you mind if I ask questions about 50 and all that stuff?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I know what I can say and what I can't, so I got a good governor.
Exactly. Yeah. You've been in the game. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I've learned. Yeah.
Yeah, man. What would you say, just for people that want to work a big name or face, A-list, whatever? What was it like the first time you were going to work him? When you're like, yo, okay, cool, I'm about to be with 50 tonight. How did it affect you?
It was a fish out of water. I was a kid. I was a young one. There was a 4-man detail, and I just didn't fit in. I mean, I didn't.
Because you're like kind of, like you ain't even my dark skin. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I don't have the right dress code or nothing. So,
right.
It's funny, man. So like I'm from South Florida, and here I am with a bunch of hood dudes from Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah, like you better be a bad dude.
I mean, and then plus all the guards were monsters, man. I mean, back then, like hip hop security they were all beasts. And again, I'm the only white guy. I'm the skinny kid. I'm the back then I was skinny. I'm the rookie. I'm the young guy. And I'm like I said, I've never been out of my area. So now I'm seeing all this craziness. It's G-Unit, it's 50 Cent, it's lights, camera, action, it's world traveling.
It's fast, man.
It's like I felt like a fish out of water, man. I felt like, holy shit, what did I just sign up for?
That's awesome. How did you did that feeling just eventually go away as you became more exposed, or did you do anything to help? What advice would you give somebody who's about to step into working with a big face, a big A-lister?
I would say just work hard and shut up. You know what I mean? If you could do those two things, that's it, man. And you'll end up gaining respect from your colleagues, your other guards, or if you have a team. Again, I don't know any of these guys. They're all friends. I'm not friends. They're all on the same team. So now, in order for me to really make it through here, I just got to work and shut up, keep my nose down, and go to work. And eventually, I'll start earning the respect of these guys because they're not going to give it to you, not especially guys like this. So you start earning it, and then when they earn it, now they bring you into their circle, and that's helped me out a lot. I mean, like you said, you had mentors. I've had mentors as well, to where they're like, all right, you got potential. You're working hard. You're a team player. Now you're one of us. And so you pick up tools from the trade from them. And if I was to give advice to anybody, I would say that, man, it's nothing more than that. Just be quiet and work hard, and eventually the cream will rise to the top. And it ain't gonna happen overnight, but it will happen sooner or later.
Yeah, no, that's just the truth, man. And when I like in my course, because like every week I do a Zoom meeting with my students, and some of them are just in that process of like, no, you got to keep working your context. You got to keep on, doing the activities we talk about to help you gain exposure and widen that sphere of relationships. Like you just got to work the process. Keep your head down. Work the process. Be someone that everyone can depend on, and show yourself to be legit. And then once you earn that respect, then you'll have the equity that'll cause people to give you opportunities. I agree. And it's real. Like it happens. That's how it works. Yeah.
And you're saving your students, and you're saving your people so much time and stress.
Like guesswork. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like you said, it's a formula. This is this old school formula of working hard. It's undefeated. There's no shortcuts. So
no,
I think
100%.
That's important. Yeah.
No, that's awesome that you said it like that, because it really is. It honestly is a formula. That's what I tell them, and it never fails. It is undefeated. Hard work, man. What would you say? So, can you go into the whole how everything went down? I guess you ended up getting shot in an altercation around 50. How'd that go down?
Yeah, I could talk about things. Yeah, like I said, this story is easy because nothing really involves 50. He wasn't even there. He was upstairs.
Yeah, man.
And plus, I was it's 20 years ago, and it's over. But yeah, I mean, long story short, I'm the rookie, so I got to go do the rookie stuff, and that is
Right.
the head of security at the time. You know, after these shows, sometimes people know where the client is in the hotel.
Yep.
So they go back to the hotel. Then you got the groupies out there in the lobby, and then you got the entourage coming to talk to the groupie or whatever. And
Yeah.
then the next thing you know, the whole town is, you know, not the whole town, but you know,
It's like a
that
block party at your
the block
drop.
party. Exactly. That's a good way to put
Literally.
it. That's a good
Yeah.
way to put it. So now this is a block party,
Right.
and my head of security at the time, Jason Kane, Jay's like, "Yo, Anton, go downstairs and see what's going on. There's a lot
Yeah.
of people down there." And I go down there, and it wasn't such a party. It was a crew of dudes rolling up because that's their town. They're the bad boys of that town, whatever. There's girls there. They're going to go mix it up. But the problem is, my crew's down there, you know,
Yeah.
and so these two stranger groups, they're
Yeah.
both strangers, are now there's people talking. There's liquor
Flexing.
involved,
Yeah.
flexing. Everybody's a tough guy, and so then I go down there and I see that my crew is arguing with their crew, right? And when I say my crew, I don't mean my security team, because we don't do that. We're the only ones that are really there working. Now this is the entourage guys.
It's the entourage, man. The
Yeah,
entourage is always the biggest problem.
always a problem.
It's always
Always
the
a problem. Always. 99% of the time.
It's not the client. It's the royal court. The
Never,
entourage,
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
They
and
all
you know
think
what?
they're clients. They get clienty.
Side note, yeah, you're when we were in the beginning with 50 and G in the first year, I was with them. We had so many people in our entourage, but then we started getting smaller and smaller, and guess what? The problems started happening less and less. And it's funny how that worked out. So
yeah, so anyway, the artist starts to figure it out.
The artist figures it out. I'm spending all this money. I got all these guys around me, and they're the ones causing all the problems. So then, sure enough, somebody in our crew ends up hitting this dude, and now his guys are fighting our guys. And now instead of me trying to break it up, now it's fighting time, and everyone's fighting, and there's a whatever. So then I hear one guy say, "Hey, you know, go pop the trunk," right? You know, and I know what that means, right? Because I'm not an idiot. So I go to chase the guy down, and you know, he always has a trunk open. He opens it up. He turns around. He looks at me with the sideways grip.
Thank God.
Thank God for people with that aim.
Yeah,
and then yeah. So then he just unloaded, and he hit me in my legs, and then I was so full of adrenaline, I just kept running, like I didn't realize it. Then like 2 or 3 more steps, I was like, oh shit, you know, I can't walk. So then I get behind the car, and then I'm just gonna say that bullets were fired from other parties. Yeah. And then everybody's fine, you know. And then that was it. And that's how that went down. And then I went upstairs to my room, and now the cops were on the way. It was just a big mess. But that's basically how the story went down. And you know, and those are the cliff notes.
Man. What would you say was the biggest takeaway from that whole altercation?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Chaos.
It's chaos. It's hard to organize that chaos at that level.
Yeah.
I think if I could take anything away, it'd be maybe maybe security should have been there earlier. You know, instead of 2 groups being built up and me being sent to go check it out, maybe we should have had a guy posted up on radio. Hey guys, you might want to come down here and look. This might get hairy. So I think that looking back, and again, I was a rookie. You know, I was just listening to the orders. But looking back now, if I was to make a takeaway from that, I would say I'd get a stagnant post guard, because all the bodyguards are now upstairs or by their principals. I think it'd be better at least if we had one pair of eyes down there. Yeah, catching this before the downward spiral started.
Yeah, man, that's wild. And then you in the documentary, you said something that caught my attention, man. You were like, "That's what it takes for the client to remember your name."
Yeah, to even know your name, right?
To even know your name. That's what it was, man.
And yeah, think about it. Like I said, I don't have the dress code, right? And whatever. I'm a young kid. I'm the whatever. But I was a 4th man on a 4-man team. I'm the rook. And with these artists, their life is so crazy that they don't have time to find out who everybody is and get the, you know what I mean? It's all about, they're getting pulled from every direction. Things are going nuts. And, you know, my client at the time didn't even know, you know, I didn't think he knew my name. But when I went up to my room, now I'm taking a pillowcase and tying it around my leg so I could stop bleeding. And you know, he comes into my room and he's like, you know, Anton, right? And I was like, it's been like 4 or 5 months. Yeah. He goes, I heard what you did. He's like, go home and heal up, but I want you to come back. And from that day on, okay, now the boss knows my name.
That's like getting knighted right there, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
It took that, right?
Yeah.
But it's not their fault. It's just, you're, like I said, the entourage was so big and I'm the new guy. So, but that helped me that night. They realized that I'm a team player. I'm there for them. I'm willing to risk my life to take down an active shooter from hurting our crew. So that helped put my name in their heads.
Get some street credit, man.
That's I guess.
But I think also, it's a significant lesson too, man. Like, just for guys that are getting in that position that might let it get to their head that, like, I'm working with such and such and such and such, or, I don't know, man. I always want to encourage guys not to ever think that your personal relationship with the client is really of any importance. It's like we do our job because we're professionals first.
I never understood that, Byron. I never understood that whole fanatic thing. Like, look who I'm with, or look at it. I never got it. I never cared. I never cared. And to this day, I've been protecting it for a very long time, and I see fans every day, and I deal with them every day, and I still don't get it. I still don't understand.
I can't understand it either. Well, I think it's you're genuinely a protector. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I've found that for some guys, it's about who they're protecting, and they're like on ups and downs, having to do with this external thing that's giving them value. But then for other guys, more guys like us, like, I could be protecting it. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Doesn't matter.
I'm doing what I was created to do, and it's an honor to do it.
That's it. Yeah, that's why the word principle is really dynamic, because you don't everybody at the end of the day is a principal. If it's a guy taking his wife out to a nightclub in South Beach, or if it's the biggest artist in the world, they're the principal. So don't get too caught up with who they are or what their status is. Just focus on the fact that they're your principal, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%. That's exact, and that's the path to not getting tripped up in some ego thing that can destroy you in this game, the fall from grace and all that, man.
100%.
Would you say, if there were like any top of the mind ABCs or 1, 2, 3s of working A-listers, acting, singing talent, does anything come to mind?
Yeah, I think, like we mentioned before, the hard work is always there, and just preparation is very important. These guys are used to. These guys are all, in lack of better words, kind of divas. They kind of want things a certain way, and they don't want it. They can, because they're there. They can, and if you can't provide it, they're going to find somebody that will, right? So that's like the A, B's, and C's. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you put a lot of. I think the advance is the most important part of doing work in a detail. Make sure that everything is the way you want it to be. And I tell my guys all the time, everything that goes right is because of you, and everything that goes wrong is because of you. And you can't say, oh, the driver didn't pick up his phone. No, that's your fault. You did that. Because the boss is not, the client's not going to see that. So I think that's important. And I also think when you're dealing with celebrity protection, less is more when it comes to ears and mouth. Like, don't talk unless they talk to you. I think that's important. Because you got your bodyguards out there that are, they laugh at the jokes he says, or
laugh from the front left seat. Yeah, I mean,
laughing at a joke. Like, I totally zone out. I ignore them. We'll be in the same car. And an example I bring out, I had another artist who his phone died, and he wanted to know who won the game, a basketball game between the Heat and the Lakers. Yeah. And he's plugging his phone, and he's talking, and he's upset, yelling at himself. Man, who won that game? It's killing me. He's like, damn phone. He's like, for like 3 minutes, he's waiting, and he's yelling at himself. And I'm from Miami.
This is an agent or a client?
No, this is an artist.
Okay, an artist.
Sports, that likes sports. So then he goes, Ant, what was the score? Do you know the score? Oh, yeah, 112, 110. He starts laughing. He goes, man, that's why I love you. You never talk unless I talk to you. And I knew he was driving me crazy. I saw him lose his mind. But it's not my problem. If you want my opinion, you'll ask for it. And even then, I don't even say it often. So I think that's another key point. So when you're working with your clients, preparation is key. Knowing what you're doing, being comfortable in your ability and yourself, and the team that you built around you, and also just be quiet and speak when spoken to, because you have to also understand, Byron, like you're going to be with these clients every single day for many years to come. So you don't want to overstay your welcome. You know, they don't want you there. They have to have you there. You know, if they had their choice, they wouldn't have you in their car with them everywhere they go, standing outside the bathroom when they go to the bathroom. Like, they wouldn't have that. So the way to avoid getting outweighing your welcome is just by less is more when it comes to interaction.
Yeah, 100%. Never say more than just, that less is more is its gold. And I hope guys understand how important it is, because that's wisdom, man. Just do your stinking job. That's it.
And you'll stay there, and you'll stay there forever. And I'm like I said, our clients, all my artists, we've had them 13, 15 years. We're still with them. We're still with them, man. Thanks, brother. And the reason why is because they've never been hurt. We keep them safe. We do our job. We don't talk. We stay out of the way. We don't get too close to the family. We don't. You got your butler bodyguards that carry the bags and play with the kids. And then you got your bodyguards that try to be friends. We don't do that. And that's the key to longevity. That's the key to keeping the client for years and years. That's what has worked for me, at least, and us here at Guardian.
I think they begin to depend on the professionalism. They can trust the professionalism. Yeah. Once they realize they can trust it, then it's then you're like that. And then the funny thing is, you actually become like that. The closeness that most guys want when they think about working for an A-list client, you only get as after you've proven yourself to be a trustworthy professional. Then you can be treated with respect, like that. I think a lot of guys chase. But you can't get it through chasing it. Yeah, I mean, that's my 2 cents on that.
It's earned, not given, right?
Yeah.
So,
man.
And especially with artists, everybody wants to take from them. Take. Right. I need this picture. I need this money. I need this show. I need this autograph. I need this. Take. So when you prove that you're not a taker and you prove that you're a giver, you start earning the respect and the trust of the client. And once you earn their respect and trust, and another way to do that is pick your battles. And that's why when you do talk to them and say, hey, I don't think we should do this because of this, and that's only once in a blue moon, they're going to say, you know what? He's earned my trust. He's earned my respect. Doesn't tell me what to do all the time, but he said this is a bad idea. I'm going to listen to him, and it's going to keep them safe and make you look good.
100%. Pick your battles. That's another really good one, man. There's some nuggets in there, man. That's good stuff. Sure. What would you say helped you move between clients, like client acquisition? Is there any kind of keynote you could drop on client acquisition in this game?
I think, absolutely. It's all word of mouth, man.
Right.
It's all. It
just is.
Like they know. Anton's been with this artist for 10 years, and this artist, and then they call each other. When I got the Alicia contract, his manager, her manager knew Fifth, and he's like, I called him up right there, and he's like, hire that guy, whatever. Like that's that word of mouth. You can't put a price on that. It's coming from another client's mouth, or not only from there, but when you're walking with an artist through wherever you're going through, you're being watched. People are watching you.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And you don't know who's watching you, but opportunity's watching you.
That's an opportunity. Management from you do a music tour, there's different artists on that bill. Right. The manager for that one artist is watching, and that's how I got a lot of my work. I don't talk, I work, I don't get involved with any of the other stuff. Yeah. And management will say, for example, while I went on a tour, there was 2 headliners. They were double headlining, and one headliner had 6 bodyguards. The other one had me alone. The manager walked up to me. He's like, "Can you have coffee with me?" And he's like, "Hey, I want to talk to you." Yeah. We're talking, and he's like, he's thinking in his head, "I'm going to save a lot of money if I get like you or one of your guys here, because I'm paying for 6 guys. That's 6 hotels. That's 6 per diems. That's 6 day rates. That's 6 flights every single day, every single city." And so they're watching you, and they're like, "We want this. We want you to work here." And that's how you end up. That's how you end up making these lateral movements and getting other accounts. Is not by going up and kissing ass and like buddying these managers, but by showing just by doing what you do, they're going to pick up on it. They're smart people. There's a reason they're in that position in life. Right. There's pretty smart people, and the circle's not that big when it comes to at this level. This level with the A-list, that pool of guards, we all know each other for the most part, and the options aren't their options are few and far in between. Mm-hmm. So if you just work hard, these managers will pick up on that, and they will say, okay, these are my options. I see this guy work here. I like him. I like the best for my client. I would like this guy to come work for my client. And that's how it's always worked out for us.
Yeah. It's funny because one, it's the same answer. So like, it's like the answers to the test are like simple, but not easy, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, what's the trick to like, you know, having a successful career? It's like hard work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because the harder you right, exactly. It's like that's the secret, because then that's what gets people to respect you, clients, teammates, other people that can bring you opportunity. It's just the trick. It's what happens. And then the my other favorite one is when people are always like, yo, so how do I acquire clients? And and I'm like, hard work along with that will then promote word of mouth is what will happen. And then
100%. That's it. That's it.
That's it though.
That's it.
You know?
And don't think don't get upset if you don't start off at the top. You know, that doesn't happen often. Work your way up. You know, work your way up. And then I think that's the key too. Like, you know, especially young guys, if I would tell young guys anything, you know, I would say, you know, within reason, but we'll work our way up. And then what that's going to do is two things. Number one, you're going to season yourself and be ready for the next level. And number two, you're going to look back at your original foundation of things and say, okay, this is what's worked for me when I was younger. And as I'm getting older and as I'm progressing, as I'm climbing that corporate ladder, if you will, these are the mistakes that I'm not going to make in the past. So waste those mistakes on the smaller artists, you know, for lack of better words. So, but by the time you get to the big artists, because when you're at that level, the littlest thing will get you cut. You'll get fired.
Littlest thing.
Like
and it's just cutthroat. Like, it's like you wore the wrong shirt on the wrong day. There's
cologne,
Byron. I know. Cologne, chewing gum, you know.
That's it, man.
Something happens in the parking garage, got nothing to do with you. You're waiting too long. Like,
get
this guy out of here. I don't ever want to see this guy again.
At that level, at that diva level, you can't let any of that. So on these smaller artists, maybe their tolerance is a little less. I mean, a little.
Or they don't know any better yet. Like they
don't know any better. They're gonna They're not quite divas yet. They're on their way though. They're on their way.
That's funny, man. No, that's good stuff. It's just awesome that you're saying it too. So, you know, people that, you know, when I have to give this advice, I'm like, it's just the way it is. It's always good to have other people tell them, because it's like, it takes faith. You know, if you don't know this is the path, and you didn't have like, you know, my dad beat into me, you know, from a distance, hey son, you got to work hard and you got to be smart. You know, if you don't just have that engine, sometimes you can feel like you're in the dark trying to find your way, you know. So it's
that's the process, man. Trust the process. You know, trust the process, and you won't go wrong.
Well, it gives you time to become the actual man that deserves it. Like, it gives you time to be actually able to deal with the success you want when you get it, because you get it too early, you're gonna die. It's gonna be short lived.
Yeah. You get spoiled a little bit. You got to earn it. Yeah,
you got to mature
and make you appreciate it that much more. Well, it's like anything, man. Like, when you first get your car, you got a beat up piece of crap car, but you wash it every day, you take care of it, and then when you get a nicer car, you treat it a little. You know, you still are doing the same things. Whether if your parents buy you a beautiful Mercedes or BMW right away, you're not going to respect and appreciate it as much. Yeah. I think it's the same thing with the career path. Like, if you're handed a top artist right away and you screw it, maybe you're not going to appreciate the grind it took to get to the top artist. So I think
that's true. That happened to me. I came right in the game, right on my first client, right into traveling at age 21. And it took me a while to reconcile myself with it, because I was like up here, man, like traveling, living on private jets, living in hotels. And I didn't want it for the first while. I was like, yo, this is cool, but like, I'm just this dude's lapdog, and like I'm this guy's like guard. I was like, I don't want this. Like, I was like, and it took me a while to see the industry and to start to see like what's even out there, to really, like, I appreciated it, you know, like I'm a thankful human, but I just remember being like, man, I don't want to just be this dude's like bodyguard. Like, I don't. It took me a while. I was coming off of combat in Iraq and all that other stuff too. So I was like going from like warlord, you know, ultra crazy, you know, war mentality, trying to get into a service industry. Know, like coffee getter, and like, you know, trying to
talk about a transition.
Yeah, man. But what you said is 100% true. It took me a while to really understand what I have, the value of it, and then really to own it. And then by the grace of God, I just didn't get knocked out of the game. I saw a few dozen guys get hired and fired within my first 6 months in this game.
Absolutely. And that's another nugget to tell guys, man. Learn off of their mistakes.
Yes.
You know, like we all learn off the mistakes we make, but how much would it be if we didn't make the mistake because we learned off of their mistake?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's key. You've seen a dozen guys get canned.
Yeah.
Think about what did all 1 through 12 of those guys do wrong, and make sure you don't do it.
Right.
You know, and that's going to help you, because not making a mistake is so much better than making it, because then you might not recover from it.
You might not get another shot.
And trust me, we're all going to make our own mistakes. It's coming. You're not going to be clean.
Coming? You're that pucker factor. You're going to be like,
yeah, you're going to screw up. We all do. We all do. But it's much better when you could learn off of those guys' mistakes and be like, I wouldn't have done that, and I'm going to make sure I don't do that. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, you're going to have enough mistakes in your career. So don't worry.
Yeah, like legit ones. What would you say about, you were talking in the video about how you bring guys up. So you'll bring guys up from the bouncer level up into executive protection. What are some of we talked about just organic protectors, you know, but sure. What are some of the other qualities you look for when you're bringing those guys up, you know, that makes them good candidates?
Yeah, well, you know, these guys come in, and some of these guys are former police officers, you know, law enforcement, you know, whatever. Some guys are teachers, some guys are military, whatever it is. I put them in the field early, like in the concert event division or the nightclub division. Well, I got rid of all the clubs. I had a bunch of clubs. I got rid of that whole division because we grew past that. But so now I focused on the concert event division, and you know what? That's where you start off. You don't just walk in and say, "Hey, I want to do security for artists." That doesn't work that way. Like, you need to make. We watch these guys, and then what'll happen is my management will tell me, "Hey, this kid Matt Archibald, he's got the look, he's got the size, he's got the brains, he's got the heart. You know, he comes to work on time. He gets along with his team. You know, I don't have to worry about him do this. Let's watch him. He might be a candidate for the next guy up." And so that's who tells me. So now they're on my radar. And at that point, it takes me about a 2 years of training this guard. And he'll continue to work in the concerts and the events locally. But anytime we have an artist in town, I'll bring him on a ride along, and he'll be working with me on a ride along. And I'll say, "Listen, you just close your ears and your mouth. And I mean, open your ears, close your mouth, open your eyes. Watch what I do. I don't want you doing anything. Even if there's a fight or anything, I don't want you doing anything. Just watch." And that's how it starts. That's day one. And eventually you get to, okay, the next time you're out, let's give this guy a little bit of responsibility. Let's teach him how to do an advance. Let's make him do the advance now. Let's double check his homework. And as that goes, weeks are going, months are going, and they're getting more. You're with a country music singer one weekend, and then 2 weeks later, you're with a pop artist, and now you're creating a bag of tricks,
experience.
You know, sure, you know, and a broad experience, right? So what we do at that point, now you're already a year in or so. Yeah. Now let's see if we can put him on his own for a local artist, by himself, you know, and then that's when we start testing them out. And then after about a year and a half, 2 years, now they're getting ready to the point to where we can send them on the road with another core guy. I call them my core guys because they've been with me since the beginning. I got 12 of those guys that have rocked with me from the beginning.
That's impressive, man. That's good.
They are everything.
Impressive.
They are
the brothers, man.
They are more important to this company than anything.
100%.
And what they'll do is they'll go on the road with them, and the core guys are so good because they care so much about the brand and the company, and they believe in and they buy in to
the pride.
They're proud, and they don't want that guy to mess up. So they're hard on him. They're hard on him like I'm hard on him.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll say, "Hey, this guy's not going to work out. You got to get back home." And so that's how it works out. That's the whole come up on how we do things. I don't hire outside of somebody. You got to know somebody who knows somebody to work inside the company, because I always believe that these guys are not going to vouch for somebody that they don't trust and they don't know. And I think that's a very important quality. So we bring that in, and then we work on them for about 2 years, and then at that point, they're ready to go on their own, and leave the nest, if you will, and go work with an artist and start touring. Yeah.
Man, that's a beautiful process, brother. That's
Thanks, brother.
outstanding that they have that much support and
Yeah.
that and you can walk them along those steps, man. It's a very robust and very responsible way of doing it. You know,
Yeah,
because a
thank
lot
you,
of
man.
it is, 100%. I commend you on that, man. That's awesome to hear. Because we all know a lot of it's baptism by fire. A lot of it's, just fighting over contracts, putting bodies, people in spots,
Sure, sure.
So that's awesome that they get that opportunity. It's priceless.
Yeah.
Uh, you
And plus
know,
you're giving them your world, not only yours, but all the knowledge that you've created in the last 20 years of doing this in every country you could think of, with every
yeah,
artist and every genre. You're
yeah,
giving all that gift wrapped to this
right,
young man or
right,
woman and
yeah.
teaching them, here it is.
Here's the game.
Don't fuck it up.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
yep.
And if you do, all these guys are like doing the same thing. Like it's like a football team. Like
The
they don't
shame.
want to see you mess. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
don't bring shame to our name. You
don't
know what
bring
I
shame
mean?
to our name, man. So that's the formula. That's the
Yeah,
process, the guardian
yeah,
formula, if you will, that we've
yeah.
created years ago, and it's proven correct. And it's not broken, don't fix it. We just keep
100%.
continuing that way. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. And that's essentially because like what I picture is training day, man. I picture
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
training day, Officer Hoyt. I thought we were gonna go to the office and then they get in the vehicle and you're in the chase behind the client, you're like, you're in
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Like
That's it. Yeah.
that's how
I
you
mean,
get guys to
let's not waste
survive.
each other's time here. Let's see if this
Yeah.
guy's got it or not. Let's throw him in the fire.
Yeah,
No.
man. Because that's how dudes survive. I'm like, for
Sure.
me, every time I got new dudes on a detail, and it would be like, I would, we'd have our conversation or whatever, but the second the detail started, I just start on the job downloading information to them about this is how you really survive. This is how you do things here on this detail. This is how you navigate that. Because without that guy to walk them through the minefield that is an executive protection detail, the chance of survival, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
the best way to do it, man. That's the way I've
Yeah.
always done it.
I agree. And you're doing two things. Number one, you're seeing if he's wasting your time, and number two, you're seeing if you're wasting his.
Mhm.
This might not be for him. And
Right.
instead of giving 2 years to us and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden going out there and experience and say, hey, I don't want to do this. Let's just cut it. Let's catch it early. Let's catch it
100%.
early.
What would you say is the biggest obstacle that you see new guys coming up face in that process?
In the process of what? In the process
Of trying to transition from, bouncing or doing venue security to get into, or just in general, do you see any most common thing that makes someone not make it, to that level, or something that gets guys disqualified?
there's going to be a lot of obstacles for sure, but I would say
Yeah.
that the top ones would probably be like we said earlier on the conversation, the sacrifice, like that, if somebody can get used to that and be okay with that, if they can overcome that obstacle, then I think that's the biggest one, because you got to want it, you know what I mean? You can't unless you really want it, and if you can overcome that obstacle of sacrificing what we discussed earlier with your health and your life and your and whatever, I think that's the biggest. Of course, there's dozens of other ones, but I would say, if I was just to give you an answer, it would be that.
Yeah, this once they actually see the weight of, this is what it's like being on the road, missing all the holidays,
Sure.
spending Thanksgiving in the Chase, parked outside your client's car while they all, maybe they bring you a plate out to the curb.
Maybe.
Thank God there's DoorDash now.
Yeah, that wasn't there. That wasn't there when we started.
Room service if you get back in time before it closes.
Yeah, but you can't do room service because that's too expensive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
And that's the life for a minute, and
It
sometimes
adds up
it's
every day.
awesome.
Room service, every day it adds up, man.
Yeah, and then you're that guy, and then you're the guy who has to get his bill talked. Come here, young buck. What's up with these room charges?
And then that's the way you get fired too. But a little tip for people that are out there.
Yeah.
If you're doing this, you're touring. There's always going to be catering at touring.
Yep.
So the key is if you tell your partner, hold it down. I'm going to go to catering, and get yourself 2 plates. Eat one there, put the other one on the bus, and now you got food for that night or the next day. And that way you're going to save your money and your per diem and all that. And those are little tips and it's good food. It's good food. It's healthy food, and it's sustenance. And you don't have to go anywhere for it. You don't have to leave the hotel. It's right there for you. So it'll
Yes.
help you do your job. It'll help you save your money, and it'll help you be, healthy as well.
Ready to rock, ready to play. You're sharp. Yeah, no, that's those little things you learn on the road when you got somebody next to you. Yeah, being like, yo,
put it in that bus, put it underneath the front seat of that shotgun bus. The front seat. Put it under there, and that's you later on. So I mean, but yeah, that's there's a sacrifices you got to talk. You got to overcome these obstacles. Is that sacrificing your dietary needs and your health and your all that stuff. So I think that's the big one.
Yeah, no, sacrifice, guys, realizing that all the sacrifices. No, that's huge. As I was listening to you talk about bringing, different guys to the game, dealing with different clients and whatnot. How do you go from working a client personally to getting that client comfortable with the guy you're bringing in?
It's rough because they're used to getting what they want. Yeah, they get what they want everywhere. They want that Bugatti, they get it. They want that jet, they get it. They want this guard, they get it. So it's difficult because they're not used to be said. You're not used to be told no. But what's helped me is getting that guard that's going to take my place so prepared that I'm going to want him to outshine me. I'm going to want him to be better than me. So I'll early and often what I do when I get clients is I'll go out there for the first few weeks, maybe months, maybe first tour, and I'm gonna see the do's and the don'ts, the likes and the dislikes, and it's gonna help me do two things. It's gonna help me get the guard prepared, because I could say, hey, doesn't like when you open the door. He wants to tap the window and then you open the door, like little things like that.
Right.
As an example. So I'll be training them via my cell phone on the WhatsApp or text, and I'm shooting itineraries and sharing everything with them so he's prepared. And then so the more prepared he is to take that baton from me, the better chance that he's going to be that runner from then on out.
Able to keep the baton.
and do it, like I said, hopefully do it. He's going to do a better job than me and stay there forever, And I've done that from the beginning with Alan. I have put him on Timberland in the beginning 15 years ago. The same thing. He's still with them, to this day. So and it comes, and then I hype up the guard. I say, hey, this guard, you're gonna like this guard. This is why. And then another thing it does, the flip side of that coin is if it's I get to see whose personality is going to mesh with this principle as well. I have some artists that I know that I can't put this guard on. It's not going to work. But this guard would be awesome on her. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like this guard's not going to tolerate this artist's mouth, but this guard won't say nothing. So it helps me pick, and I don't get it right all the time. I would say 9 out of 10 times I get it right. The
right combination.
Yeah. Once in a while they say, Anton, send me somebody else. But I know my guys very well. I know their families. We have, we have barbecues every year together. We bond together. So I know their personalities. I work with these guys shoulder to shoulder. And so when I work with the clients, now I get to know both personalities, and I try to do my best to try to link them up and create an opportunity for a guard to have a career with a client, and then just walk away from it. But then the hard part is doing that walk away. But like I said, what makes it easy is bringing a high quality guard that can hopefully do a better job than you. That makes it less hard for them to say goodbye to you,
Okay.
And I'll tell you too, like these guys know that I have to run a company. I can't just stay on one guard. I can't, I can't run the company if I'm on just one client. And I've had a pop artist manager ask me, I need you with them every day. And I said, I can't, I gotta be running the company. He goes, I'll buy your company off you. It's whatever, just to have you on.
And they're serious too. Yeah.
That's serious. And it goes, and he's like, and I was like, listen, I can't do that. Because I can't look at my guys that have been with me forever and say, hey guys, by the way, thanks for your loyalty and your hard work. But you work for this guy now. I'm out. It's the company's not for sale. So of course that rubbed the client the wrong way. And we had to do some control over it, but I produced a really good guard, and now everybody's happy.
Yeah, man, that's good. All that is gold, because that's just one of the friction points in growing and developing. You're doing the owner operator thing, it's going good, and then it's like, okay, then how do you get to that next seat over, so you can get a high quality guy in that seat, and the person who always gets told yes is happy that they actually don't have you.
Yeah, man. And I also think that when you do bring the guy out, don't just hand the baton and go. Walk with them with the baton. Get a few days, maybe a week, maybe a few weeks, maybe a whole tour. Work shoulder to shoulder with this guy, and then when you feel comfortable enough to leave and he feels comfortable for you to leave, and he feels comfortable enough with the baton, make that transition and go. And then, hey, come back again once in a while. Pepper in visits. Every time they're in Miami, come say what's up. Make sure everything's good. Good. And that's what we do. And that's what we do in a company. And it works out for everybody. Works out for the guard. Works out for the client. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. No, that's solid, man. That's good stuff. What would you say about the if you could do anything differently in your career, would you change anything?
Yeah. I've been asked that question before. This is clerical contracts.
Okay.
Contracts for everybody. Yeah. So it's like on everything, on your client. My lawyer said years ago, Anton, you got to make sure all your clients sign this before you even start working. You got to make sure your guards sign it so they don't try to steal clients. You got to do, and I told my lawyer, I was like, you don't know my guys. They would never do that. We're good men. And then
the lawyer was like waiting to be right because eventually,
he was until one guy did it. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, look at this, MF or whatever. Mm-hmm. After all I did, he does this. And it broke my heart because I was like, I can't believe that they would do something like that. And 99% of my guys would never, but make everybody sign it and make it standard just so nobody's picking on anybody. Hey, this is company policy. Everybody needs to sign this because you're giving them all those years of knowledge, like we said, and experience and all these gifts to them. And you're lining them up with these artists and you're insuring them and you're doing all that.
Yeah.
They should sign something. And your clients as well, because you might think to yourself, okay, this client pays net 30 every time. I don't have to worry about them. Contract, no contract, it's cool. Yeah, but until it gets 60
until it's
days,
not cool.
90 days. And now it's over 90 days.
Right.
Your accounts receivable is at 50K or whatever.
And you have no recourse.
No contract. Yeah. There's no contract. So I would say if I had to do everything over again, contracts early and often, all the way.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's wisdom. Wisdom, man. Yeah. That's awesome. What would you say about the future of the industry, man? Do you see any changes, anything significant, any predictions, anything coming?
I don't like what's happening to it now.
Okay.
I think that social media is the number one reason why it's just being corrupted. Fans are allowed in now. Fans are allowed to be bodyguards now. And you're seeing people with their arms around clients and just
like sloppy,
shout out to this. What it's like, that's what we are now. That's cool now. Like, and what's happening is too, there's a lot of undercutting and pricing going on, right? People
especially in Florida, in your market, I heard that it's been happening like crazy. Yeah, man.
And when you're an artist, nobody's buying albums anymore. Nobody's selling 10 million albums anymore. I mean, when's the last time anybody bought an album?
Yeah, it's all digital now. The game's changed.
It's all digital. You can't do 10 million now. You're lucky if you get 1 million. It's all digital. So the sales are not there. So what does that mean? That means the money's not pouring in like the rock and roll good times. You drop an album and you make 100 million. Now you have to go and tour. Now you got to go and physically tour, and you got to do clothing, and you got to do perfume, and you got to do food or whatever, alcohol, whatever. So that's what's happening. So what that's causing is some people say, hey, we need to save money. If that money's not flowing in like it used to, maybe we need to save money. So maybe they'll go for a guard that's undercutting on price. So I see that happening now. I'm not happy with it. That's why I'm starting this celebrity protection course. And I want to help bring back the honor into the industry, clean it up, put a standard there. And people need to come together, like guys like yourself and guys that are listening that have been doing this a while. We need to come together and say, hey, this is not okay. Like this is not cool. So I think if we set the standard, I think the future of celebrity protection will be brighter. But I think right now we're at a pivotal point because I think that, and I blame it all on social, but I think that that's happening a lot. And look, the guys that have been with the top artists for decades or, 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, they're not the guys. You'll never hear about these guys doing that. These guys are real. But the amount of new people coming in is so crazy right now. I've never seen it. I've never seen so many people coming in and the wrong people coming in. So I think that needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, real quick on what you were saying, when you're talking about keeping a celebrity client for, 5, 10, 15 years, if y'all don't know, that is a feat in and of itself. That's like a miracle. Like that is amazing. Cause I'm telling you, anything happens, you could get iced.
But I'll tell you what, people ask me, like, how did
you can get ice?
They asked me how I last so long.
Yeah.
There was one particular artist, and he's like, everyone's like, everybody gets fired from this artist.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah. It was one of those,
They're like, how did you last? It's been like 11 years now. Because how did you last so long? I said, you know what it is, man? And this is something to tell people out there. Every morning, I think to myself, today is the day I can get fired.
Dude, that's what I do. Yeah, yeah.
Fired or hurt. I'm brushing my teeth. You can get fired today. You can get hurt today.
Yeah,
you can get shot today. Your client can get hurt today. Like,
Yeah.
think that every single day, and don't take any day for granted, and that you'll be there for 10 years.
Dude, it's
crazy. And never get comfortable. When you start getting comfortable, that's when everything goes to hell, man.
Yeah, man. No, that's the truth. My first client was like that too. Like I said, I saw 24 dudes, just get hired and fired in my first like 6 months. And like, there was just this revolving door. And I remember just being like, man, I don't, how do I even survive here, with this client and this going on? But every single day I went to work, I was like, yo, this could be your last day, homie. This could be your last day. I don't care how long you've been here. And I was with them for 7 years, and I still do things with them now. And, and it's like, just, there's something about keeping the right perception and perspective on what you're doing, and being like, hey, this could be my last day. I'm writing a blank check right now to go protect somebody's life. And it's like, if you can keep those things, and it's like, and above all, I just got to be professional. Like, and if you can keep those values solid,
same thing, man.
You're freaking, and never let yourself get away from that stuff. It seems like everything else takes care of itself.
That's it. And then you wake up and you realize, holy crap, it's 8 years. It's been 9 years.
Yeah.
And I get so proud, man, when I work with I call my teammates, the guys that work with me, or men, and I see them on clients for so long, and yet I go to support and help out. What do you need from me? Yo, we're going to Africa. You want to advance? I'm here advance. I work for you now. I'm the number 2. You're the head of security. What do you need?
Yeah.
And just watching them work and seeing how much they still care every day, even if they've been there forever, and they still care, and they still treat it like that could be their last day. It's like, that's why he's still here.
Yeah.
Because his guard never came down. He always kept his guard up. He never got comfortable, and that's why he's still here.
No, that's 100% correct. But on the other thing you were saying too, with regards to the social media, I just think, I don't know, man. I feel like it's like a consequence of our world and our society now, that people don't necessarily, they just kind of don't know how to act. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm huge on social media, but like, and I've been getting a bad rap, but like, I don't ever, there is no picture of me with a single client on my social media anywhere at any point ever. You know what I'm saying? There's no OPSEC breaches. There's no license plate tail number. There's no nothing. I had somebody giving me crap the other day, like, well, this picture looks like, it's a posed photo. I'm like, it is. I am for sure posing, because I don't post pictures when I'm working. Like, what I mean? So like, I wanted to blog, and I thought this was a cool picture, bro. So I put it up here. Yeah, but I'm not gonna put my clients out there.
Right. We don't put up half the clients we have.
Yeah.
Like because some clients ask you to. Some clients say, hey, that was a really cool picture. You should put it up.
That's different.
And it's not. And by the way, it's an action shot. You're working. It's not like, what's up?
Like, we got drinks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's that. So but I've noticed that some people are even putting pictures of artists that are not even theirs. And how do I know? Because they're mine. They're my artists.
That's a whole nother
and somebody will send that to me, and I don't get involved in all that stuff. I'm not big on social. But somebody will send. But I'm also not the idiot that thinks that I need to be on a typewriter when everybody's got laptops. Like, I get it. Times are changing. I get it too. So I do it with class. I do it with whatever. But I'll see that and I'll be like, that's hilarious. Like, look at that, man. That's mine for 5 years. I got 2 guys on them right now.
Yeah.
People are posting clients that aren't even theirs, and we're posting half the clients we really have.
Yeah.
So there's a way to do it where you're clean and you're professional in the way. But I think that with celebrity protection in general, you do a lot of EP, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I do is EP. It's
the
only thing I do. Yeah.
See, so I think with the celebrity, it's different because that's more people care about that than somebody on the C-suite level exec.
It's the shiny thing. It's
Yeah,
the shiny,
the shiny.
thing. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
you know, you think bodyguard, it's like, yeah, and then I'm gonna be on, you know, whatever pop star actor, you know, and then it's gonna be awesome, you know, and that's true. That's absolutely true, you know.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with a generation that's just trying to understand how to coexist with like the digital age. You know what I mean? Like people are still learning their social media etiquette, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's something I teach in my class. Like people are still learning, you know, how do I coexist with this digital thing that has the power to bring a lot of opportunity, you know. And then just like you got to teach a little boy a handshake, you got to teach him like what you should and shouldn't do on the social media. You know what I mean?
That's smart. That's
it's
smart.
A real, you know,
because it's not going anywhere.
No, it's not. It's only getting stronger.
Yeah. So it's smart that they're instilling that on them early, so they don't have to go through any mistakes down the road.
And I've seen good dudes make these little like mistakes, and I'm like, yo, bro. And I some guys just are like, yo, that guy's not professional, and writes them off. But I have had, you know, not guys that work for me, but if I see another professional make a mistake or like post something, and I'm like, yo, you know, I'll just tell them like, hey, bro, it's not a good idea to put the tail number in your photo because
that's important.
Everyone's going to look at you and it looks like you're breaking OPSEC right now. And I just put them on game and they're like, yo, thank you. You know, because a lot of them just don't know, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
thank you. Thank you's right. You're helping them more than anything, man. And you know, if somebody gets that, even me to this, you know, I'll ask my guys, I'll say, you know, my teammates, I'll be like, what do you guys think of this or whatever? And they'll say, hey man, that's probably not a good idea, or you should. And I listen to them, man, because you need that outside. You need that outside input because sometimes we don't realize, we just get caught up in our own. But you need your teammate to say, hey, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, man. Iron sharpens iron. You got to have people you trust around you. They can be like, yo, bro.
I like that. Yeah,
you know?
nice.
Yeah, you know. And I got my boys that hit me up. I'm like, hey, dude. I mean, that just tell me like, yo, I think that was stupid. I'm like, yo, whoa. But
you need to hear it, man.
The trust of the relationship, the depth of the relationship is there for that, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty like, I kind of like haters too, because haters will tell you what's actually wrong with you. If you can listen to them, you know, because they have a skill of seeing your vulnerabilities. You know, so sometimes every once in a while, I did encounter one that was pretty ridiculous the other day. Where he like pulled a picture of me, you know, doing like I was posting something for some of the companies that sponsor me, and he took the picture and put it in a group and was like, do you guys do this when you do executive protection? And I was like, and he cut off the whole article, like what the whole picture was about and me talking. And I was like, bro, it has nothing to do with executive protection, man. You know, but
that's the world we're living in now. Everyone's got an opinion and they need to get it out.
Yeah, exactly.
They got to type it out. They got to get it out. And it's like, I mean, I'm in groups on Facebook for executive protection, and I'll witness that sometimes. Or like the worst is when I see EP groups talk about celebs and send like TMZ things. I'm like, guys, this is what we're pumping in here. This is false. It's fabricated. It's not true. And I'll think to them, but everyone's got an opinion. Oh, you know, there is a difference between if the guy was this or the guy was that. And have you ever protected? Who have you protected? You know, like you got so much opinion on a matter where you got no experience in,
and you don't even really know what. Like you have a snapshot, and you're reining in on all this opinion, like you're some kind of like.
And it's not, and it's a gossip channel.
It's horrible.
It's clickbait.
And it happens in my group sometimes. I know it does.
Sure.
I can't keep up with all of it.
It happens everywhere. And I've learned I tune it out for the most part. Like I've learned to just look, man, to me, it's not important. Opinions are not that important. If somebody wants to talk negatively, you know, I tune it out, you know, especially if it's a colleague or somebody that I know. And you know, everyone's got an opinion to say, but you know, I think at the professional level we're at, that there's no room for that. You know what I mean? I think unfortunately, like I said, because everyone's got a typewriter, I mean a keyboard in front of them, and they got to get it out there. And I just have a lot more respect for the guys that just don't say nothing about nothing and just, you know,
and just
especially just work, man, just work. But social makes it very easy for everyone to be very opinionated and express it very easily.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more, man. And nah, man, that's me, man. I'm the same way. Like I just got too much stuff to do. Like I don't have time, and I don't care. You know, what I'm saying? Like I'm
Good.
grinding. You know,
Good for you, man.
Straight through. Yeah. So that's a good one, man. No, I agree with you. You mentioned your celebrity protection course, brother.
Yeah.
What's that about, man? Can we go into that for a second?
Sure thing.
Closing questions.
You got it. So years ago, like a few years back, when my guys were like, my core guys were like, hey, we want to get into EP. We need more EP accounts.
Yeah.
I said, let me go somewhere. You know, I know there's ESI, there's EPI, there's a bunch of sources. So there's a bunch of good places to learn from. So I said, let me check this EPI place out. And I went there and I did that 100-hour course. And
yeah, man.
And I wanted to learn how different EP was from celebrity. And like I said earlier in our conversation, it's very, very similar. And I just did that course and I was like, man, if I had done this course 18, 20 years ago, I would have been way better off than I am now. You know, but on the same breath, it's, you know, it reinstated and reiterated, I'm sorry, what I already knew, and that is protection, and it's all this, you know, it's still all valuable information. Upon that course, Jerry, the owner, had said, hey, you know, obviously you know your stuff. We should talk about putting together a celebrity protection course, and that's how it came about. And I said, you know what, I'd love it. You know, so I've never really I teach the state of Florida security officer license here, but it's death by PowerPoint, and it's a 42-hour course, and it's just to get your guard card. There's not drive and passion in it. And this is something that I've never taught before, but I realized that it's the same thing I'm teaching my team inside. All I'm doing is giving it to the public now. Like what you talked about, all these years of, you know, 60, 70 countries and, you know, 18, 20 years of touring. Yeah. If I can package that up and put it in a course, why not do it? So 100%. So I'm going to do that with EPI and anywhere else I could help out. You know, anybody else who wants to talk about it. I'm happy to try to bring some light on this industry and like I said, help try to set the standard and help everybody. Like I said, the mistakes that I've made, I would not have made if I'd taken that EPI course. You know, but I learned on my own. So if I can do that for somebody else, why not on the celebrity side? You know.
Yeah, 100%. No, we for sure. I got some stuff we can talk about for sure after this, man. If you're up for it, that's good, man. And that it was interesting because I had to learn a lot of my, you know, I cut my teeth on the job training 100%. I didn't go to my first course till I was 7 years into the game, and then I was like, oh, okay, like this would have helped, you know. But then I you know, I had some parts of me, and this wasn't the EPI course, but one of the courses I went to, some parts of me were like, yo, this is good for State Department. I don't know how applicable this would have been for just my two-man situation. And then, you know, obviously EPI covered all kinds of everything, which was awesome.
Sure.
I did a review on that school, man. That's great. And the instructors and the learning environment, that's what really stuck out to me there, was the way that they're so respectful, great people, high volume of information, but the environment is so positive for learning. Like I'm a military dude, so I was expecting them to, like, you know, kick in the door and like make it stressful, but like they never did. They were just giving you this information and your questions and like very mature adult way of learning, I guess, compared to the military being like, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, you know?
Ram it down your throat. I agree. They were, I mean, the instructors there are awesome. You know, Ed House, Jerry, you know, all those guys,
Big John
Musser,
that
guy's great. And then, like I said, you know, I was able to help out a little bit at La Sources, and you talk about good teachers. That guy knows his stuff, man. You know, it was an honor to just watch, and I learned from his teaching skills and the way he's teaching. And I know his operation down there, well, not only down here, but everywhere that he goes, is high class. And I think that's the good thing about this industry, is that even though these are executive protection schools, there's room for other divisions like celebrity protection as well. There's room for, because listen, we're doing it all, right? Executive, whatever, we do it all. but maybe somebody just wants to do that and needs to learn how to learn the tricks of that trade rather than the tricks of EP. So why not try to push that out there?
Yeah, because different people have different dreams. Like it's like, oh, I want to work the celebrities. I want that life, or I want to work the corporate stuff. I want to work the church stuff. I want to. There's so much that we can do in this industry. So yeah, man, I dig it. That's good. That's awesome that you're making that contribution and going to canonize this experience you have, man. Crystallize it so it can live on. That's what I think is that's the real big work.
Yeah.
100%, man. That's awesome. What would you say? Would you nominate somebody for the podcast? It's one of my favorite ones. Who would you nominate? You got me.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Who's got a ton of experience? I think you did Musser already, right?
Yeah. We kicked it around for sure.
I don't know if he does podcasts or not, but Eric Hobb, that's part of it because we're going to tag team this. He's going to do the venue security for celebrity touring, and I'm going to do the personal security. And his resume is crazy, man. I mean, he's got a house. Yeah. Hauch. Okay. He's over there. Yeah. And again, I don't know. I've never spoken to him about it. I don't know if he does a podcast or not, but just, when he instructed, just listen to, you could see right through somebody who says they are who they are. If you know what you've done. And I was like, wow, this guy's the real deal. He's got a lot of experience on the venue side, especially. So I think he'd be good. And like I said, Musser, you can't miss with that guy, right? He's awesome. He's solid too. But
weakness is the enemy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The barbell diet.
Yeah, man, I love it.
Did you do Joe too? Did you do
LaSorsa?
Christian? Yeah.
I haven't gotten Joe LaSorsa on yet. Me and him there's so, like I said, there's so many in the industry that like I either need to catch up with, or we've been kicking it back and forth and just haven't gotten it done.
Yeah. But those are the ones I would say, man. I think those would be some. I think people could get like you said, nuggets. I think some people can get some real nuggets from those guys.
Awesome. No, that's good. That's a good place to start. I'll start chasing them down. I'm pretty sure I still have Eric's number from the course as well. Favorite quote, mantra, saying?
Comfortability is the kiss of death. I mean, I could if I could tattoo it on my forehead, I would. It's the kiss of death in everything. In like we discussed before, I say it all the time. I got my little Antonisms I say, here and there, but that's the one that I say more than anyone. It's the key to everything. People get comfortable. If you look at history, the way it repeats itself. Right. You look at the assassinations. You look at the stalkers who have murdered. You look at Lenin and Princess Di and Pac, Biggie. JFK. Go down. I won't say JFK, but go down the list of people that have been assassinated. There's a constant theme there where maybe they were a little too comfortable in their surroundings. Maybe they didn't realize they needed a chaser vehicle behind them when they were in transit. Maybe Johnny Versace had a routine that he felt comfortable walking down the street of South Beach and not realizing that there are bad people out there, there are stalkers out there. So not only can it get you hurt like that bad to the point of death, but it also could get you hurt on the pocket side, on the money side, when you start getting comfortable, the respect goes down between you and the client. You start becoming somebody that's just another guy rather than the guy that's that's not comfortable.
Operating
all about RoboCop, man, all about his business. That's who you want to keep that there. So I would say comfortability is the kiss of death. If you can say that to yourself and know that you'll have the longevity with these clients and you also have the longevity in life, hopefully.
Yeah, in a lot of areas, because it's just the truth, man. Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is nothing will bring you closer to destruction than comfort. It's the same thing, basically. Nothing will bring you closer to destruction than comfort, man. It's just a reminder,
Yep.
That's
once you start getting comfortable, man, that's when it all goes downhill.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. That's good to go. Do you have a habit or something that you think makes you a better protector that you think people should look at, try and implement in their life?
Yeah, man. I'm probably my biggest critic. I critique everything I do, down to like the minutes, down to I could have shaved a minute off if I did that. And after every job, after every city, after every country, When I'm in my hotel, I just thinking about how the day went, and could I have done anything better? And I started at 24. The security nightclub I started at 18, but I started the celebrity protection at 24, 25. I'm 42 now. I still do it every single day, man. And
Nice.
I think because, and you think about it, like, I know that sounds a little weird, right? But don't true professionals do that? Does that wide receiver that caught 175 yards, but he dropped that 5-yarder? Isn't he beating himself up about dropping that 5-yarder?
He is. That's why he's going to catch the next one. That's why he'll die 100%. Before he don't catch that next one.
And he just caught 200 yards. Like, he should not be upset. But I think as professionals, if you become your worst critic, beat yourself up, let it hurt when you do something wrong, make yourself sick. Make yourself sick. Eat, swallow that, and make sure it never happens again. I think that's something that I still do every single day.
That's good stuff, man. No, don't run from the pain. Know the shame of your mistake, and purpose never to let it happen again. Feel all of it. Yeah, that's good.
That's right. Remember that pain and make sure you don't go through it again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's outstanding stuff, man. Yeah. How would you like to be remembered, Anton?
Well, you know what, man. I think it's more. It's hard because when in my life I have a lot of big accomplishments and I'm very proud of that are secrets and no one will ever know. Like lives that have been saved from the biggest artist out there that people won't know, and I can't know. I will never say it. Yeah. So I can't be remembered for that. That's that kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
It sucks because you're like, I'm pretty proud of what I've done behind doors for some of these the craziest events that people, if I told, they wouldn't even believe.
Right.
But I know it in my heart, so I can't be remembered for that. So instead of me being remembered, I think what's more important is my teammates and Guardian being remembered. What these guys have done, to be able to come from this little part of Broward County and take over the industry to the point to where we're at. Yeah. And I think that's something to be said. We're not in Hollywood. We're not in LA like every other security company, right? Like to get to the level we're at with the number one touring artist every year that year for the last 15 years. Like, I'm very proud of that, and I want my guys they're proud of that as well. And if I could say, if I would like anything memorized, it'd be all the sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears and professionalism that these guys have put in to make Guardian where it's at. I think that to me is more important than any memory for myself.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, the memory of, just the fact that the business and the entity is stood up, like it's bought and paid for in the blood of the pack, the guys that make it possible, man.
Yeah.
And the honor associated with that way of doing business that comes from that code that you guys have,
Yeah, and it's a brotherhood. It's a code, man. It's like a company's only as good as the people who make it up, and that's the truth. We try to take care of the guys as much as we can here, with the life, the health, the dental, the vision, all that. We hook them up, whatever they need, we try to provide. And because we see what they do, we see the sacrifice they make, we see, all the hard work they're putting in. So if anything's to be memorized, it's let's I'd like for them to be recognized for that.
Yeah, for building that thing. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's an awesome outlook. Yeah, you're a fantastic guy to work for, it sounds like, and work with. Based on
don't ask my guys that though. Don't ask them.
Hey, you got to drop the hammer, man. That's the game. That's awesome. No, I dig it, man. I dig that. What are you up to these days, and where can we find you?
Yeah, you're looking at it. I'm behind the desk now, man. I'm finally there. I retired. I just finished my last tour with Ariana last November, and I said, you know what? Been touring my whole life, no more touring. So I'll come out a week here, a week there, or maybe a few weeks for whatever is needed. But just touring life is done. I want to be Houston. When they say Houston, we have a problem. I want to be headquarters.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let me just support my guys from behind this desk. I'm down here in South Florida. And that's another thing I want to put out there, man. If anybody's looking for help with the EP, like any support, any security, as you could probably tell from talking, this is not a security staffing company. This is a security agency. These guys are here. These guys are quality guys. I'd love to get them more work. So building relationships with these big companies and small companies, like I've been doing, being subcontracted here and there, working with other people. That's what I'm focusing on now. Staying local, not being on the road, growing our networking, growing what it's all about, and just being a support system for the team. behind the desk. And once in a while, like I said, do the school, do the course, do whatever I can. But for the most part, it's down here in South Florida.
No, that's awesome, man. Well, I want to congratulate you on making it to that stage in the game. You know what I'm saying? And being able to step back and be the ghost in the machine, man. I'm excited for you, brother. That's big.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you. Long time coming.
Yeah, man. Doing the owner operator thing it's magic.
Yeah, it is. It's good, man. It's good.
It's good, man. Well done on that. And all good things, man. That's awesome. Thanks so much for spending this time with me, Anton. It's an honor. I'm glad we were able to catch up, man. It's been a great conversation and learned a lot from you in this conversation. And this is going to be a valuable episode, man, for a lot of people.
Good, man. I'm happy. I enjoyed it. I'm happy that we met. I'm happy that Christian connected us. And I'm hoping that if anybody could hear anything from you or myself on this, that's going to help them in their career, then we did something,
Heck yeah.
And hopefully, and we'll just continue to, like I said in the beginning, continue to get the information out there like you're doing, and continue to do what you're doing. Get the knowledge and the intel, and it's just going to help out the industry in general, as far as guys making less mistakes and guys meeting other guys and guys networking. And I think that there's nothing but good things that could come as a result of that.
Yeah, having better careers, man. That's awesome. Thanks again, brother. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to the next time our paths cross too, at the Close Protection Conference or wherever it is.
Me too, bud.
For sure.
Me too. Yeah.
All right then, brother. Take care, and we will talk soon, my man. Thanks again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yo, if you're a private security professional wanting to take your game to the next level, go to executiveprotectiontrainingday.com to check out my personal success package for private security professionals. Check it out, executiveprotectiontrainingday.com. And remember, y'all, hard skills do save lives, but soft skills get you paid. Boom. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions. Yo, and before we go, I got to shout out to the sponsors, starting out with Primary Weapon Systems, PWS. They truly are the evolution of the rifle. Use Byron for 10% off. Grayman & Company, the most comfortable tactical suits in the game. Use Byron for 10% off with them. Ballistic Theory. You're going to start seeing a lot of stuff with me in Ballistic Theory because they got good ammo for good prices. Use Byron for my discount with those guys as well. Last but not least, Executive Protection Institute. Hey, go check them out and get your executive protection education on. Until the next podcast, this is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade. Out.